I had been studying the Bible for a number of years, and I discovered we could not find any religious group that teaches us what the Bible is. So we had given up. These people showed my wife the gospel. In August of 1965 and in October of 1965, I too obeyed the gospel. A month later, I began preaching. A few months later, the company for which I work moved us to Fort Wayne, Indiana. So I'm kind of a fellow Hoosier with you. I lived in Fort Wayne for a number of years, and having preached in Columbia, Indiana, until the time that I went to the next school of preaching in 1973. One of the best decisions I ever made, besides asking Lord to marry me, was to go to that school of preaching. Spent 2 years there, began preaching in that area, and never were able to get out of the mountains. And for some reason, I don't know, I was asked to go there as a teacher in 1978 part-time, in 1984 full-time. That's who Keith Mosher is, but the one thing Brother Albrecht failed to do, and he doesn't do it before the week's out, I'm going to keep talking about it. He's got to mention the 4 most important things to me in my life right now, and those are my grandchildren. I thought Albrecht, you've got to mention them. I forgot, how many of you have grandchildren? That's right, I don't want to sit with you. Let me sit with you folks who don't have it. You don't know what it's like to have grandchildren. If I'd known how great they were going to be, I'd have them first. Listen, this is tremendous. One of our grandchildren is in heaven. He died when he was 6 months old. He has a brother who is now 6, and we have my youngest son who preaches in Jacksonville, Florida, has 2 daughters, one 8, one 2. The 2-year-old wants to work. And so we gave to her knowing that she doesn't know any better. But it's good to be with you tonight. I have 3 children, 32 and 30. If you want to figure that out, I'll tell you after the service. 3 children, 32 and 30. You got that? I hope everyone tonight will open his Bible, and I hope you'll take pencil and paper in hand, because what we're going to talk about tonight is difficult. It's a difficult subject. It's hard to get this point across to folks. I'm just going to ask the question tonight, is the Church of Christ a denomination? Are we a denomination? An important question. There were no denominations in the Bible days. You can't find them. Many scriptures are violated by denominationalism. For instance, in Galatians 5, 19 through 21, there's a word translated heresy. It's the way it's spelled in the original language. Heresy. It's just transliterated. They brought it over from the original languages in English. Heresy. It's called a sin of the flesh there. If we were to translate it, we'd translate it sect, denomination. And Paul says that's a sin of the flesh. And so denominationalism by very nature goes against what the Apostle Paul taught. In 1 Corinthians 1:10, in writing to the church, Paul says, let there be no divisions among you, but be perfectly together, joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment. Now, if that's important for the church, how much more important for all of us who profess to be Christians? That word translated divisions there is schismata. There should be no schisms or pieces of the very body of Christ. There should not be a rent in Christ. There should not be a crack in his armor. The most dangerous, erroneous problem in the Christian world today, and I use that word Christian in the adjectival sense, is this idea of denominationalism. It creates more prejudice in people's minds than anything else I know. It creates the kind of thing in people's minds that causes them to say, well, what is the truth? And how do you know you have it? You know, if every preacher preached the truth, there would be no denomination. In the same way that I can reproduce peas in my garden, if all I had was corn seed, I couldn't reproduce peas. In that same sense, if all I preach is the gospel and use just that seed, okay, I can't create a denomination. There can be no divisions if people practice New Testament doctrine equally. The common idea, however, is we cannot see the Bible alike. We just can't do it. Well, if I told you that in my house there are 7 rooms, could you all repeat that back to me? How many rooms are in my house, Keith? How do
do you know that? It's just what I said. Did everyone see that there was, how many of you understood there were 7 rooms in my house? Now, could you all see that light? Then where did we ever get the idea that we can't see the Bible light from denominationalism? We didn't get it from the Bible. See, it's a dangerous idea. It's erroneous. In fact, we can know the truth. And the truth can make us free. Now, people in denominations believe that all of the denominations make up the church. That the body of Christ has many members. 1 Corinthians 12 is what they use. They also use John the 15th chapter, and they say those branches are the denominations. The problem with that is, in 1 Corinthians 12, he's talking about individual members of the church, and in John 15, he's talking about individual members of his body. He's not talking about anything like a denomination. He's talking about those people who make up his followers. Our first need tonight, then, is to ask the question, what in the world is a denomination? Let's define it. What is a denomination? It's a part of something. According to the etymology of the word denomination, it means concerning a name, to denom, to name something. A thing is denominated when it has a name given to it which distinguishes it from something else. Your denomination is Keith. Well, it has to be Keith Paget because that's not distinguished from me. To denominate you, I have to call you Keith Paget. You have to call me Keith Mosher to denominate you by definition. Okay, to give a more general answer to the question, what is a denomination? Well, in the religious realm, it's a party of religious people who are in agreement upon some portion of teaching or some man-made creed or some man-made rule or some other form that distinguishes them from all other groups. Something that is peculiar to them and denominates them that way. Now, almost every religious denomination on earth today is named either for the form of government which it has or some doctrine which it emphasizes over all other doctrines. Or it's named for something. And I think that covers fairly well most of the religious denominations. Named for either their form of government or some doctrine it's emphasizing over others or for some name. Now, the doctrinal principle for which that religious body stands may not be an error. We don't want to take that viewpoint. I want us to understand that at the outset. Just because a denomination names itself for something doesn't make the thing for which it names itself an error. Let me illustrate that. The Presbyterian Church names itself after the word presbyteros in the New Testament. They name themselves after the form of government that they have, an eldership. Well, eldership is not an error. It's not an error to have an eldership in the church. But because they stress that point or denominate themselves or separate themselves from other Christians by that title, the very fact that they've separated themselves causes it to be the heresy that Paul condemns in Galatians 5:20 through 21. If people stress one point of doctrine or some point of religion to the neglect of all other points of religion or other points of doctrine, they become a heresy. They become a sect. They become a denomination. So, it doesn't mean that they are just denominated Christians. It means that they are riding a hobby of some kind. And incidentally, brothers and sisters and friends, that's what the original word heresy meant, to ride a hobby. To place yourself separate and apart over one point of doctrine, separate and apart from everybody else. Let me illustrate it just a little further. The Episcopal Church is called Episcopal because of its form of government. It is run by bishops. Episkopos is the Greek word for bishop. There's nothing wrong with that word. Well, a bishop is the highest office in their form of government, hence its name. The Methodist Episcopal Church is called Episcopal because it has a bishop over it, but it also has a different form of worship from everyone else, and their worship form is based on the Old Testament, so they have to give themselves two names to tell people why we're separate. We're separate because our worship is Methodist and our government is Episcopal. The Baptist Church is named for the ordinance of baptism. Formerly, in the drowned by water, and they even get a joke out of that sometimes. But they've named themselves for a form of doctrine. Why do the Seventh-day Adventists call themselves that? Because they have preached the second coming of Christ, stressed it, exalted it unduly. In fact, they have set dates over the years. They keep changing it, of course, because they never get it right. But they call themselves that because that's their whole doctrine. When you approach them, that's what they want to talk about. And so I think I've illustrated for you how a denomination separates itself by either naming itself for its form of government, or its practice, or maybe for some man. We're familiar with the term Lutheran, or we're familiar with the term that is named after a man. You know, the man who started what we call the Methodist Church, John Wesley, would not be a member of the Methodist Church today. He would be a member of the Pentecostal Church, what is called the Holiness Group, because Wesley believed that the Holy Spirit of God was directly leading him. There are Seventh-day Adventist Christians, but they separate themselves from Mormon or Latter-day Saint Christians, who separate themselves from Christian Science Christians and Christadelphian Christians and Presbyterian Christians and Cumberland Presbyterian Christians, Covenant Presbyterian Christians and the Second Presbyterian Christians, and the United States of America Presbyterian Christians. I can name all those because I used to be a member of the Presbyterian Church. I hope I've defined for you what a denomination is. And I hope I've shown you what denominationalism runs into. It causes a problem. Now, a thoughtful man might ask me a question here and say, Mosher, can't we preach all of the truth and then not exalt any portion of it above another portion that we agreed therefore? Well, if we do that, we're going to need the same characteristics, the same designations, the same names. As a matter of fact, we're going to have the same authority. Churches of Christ have decided that the only authority is the New Testament. But does that make us a denomination? Can it be done? Can we do this? It's difficult, it seems to me, but I believe it can be done. Second question. What is a denomination was the first question. Second question. Well, who in the world are we then? Who are the churches of Christ? Brothers and sisters, it's difficult in this world in which you and I live to be consistent. Very difficult. When I say, are we a denomination, it's difficult for us to be consistent in the use of that word we, even in the discussion I'm not trying to maintain with us this evening. When I preach against denominationalism, against distinguishing certain bodies and parties of people in religion by denominational designations, and at the same time I speak of we as a body of people, or our this, or us in this. When we say our church claims this, we use that word in a strange way, don't we? Our. What are we? Who are we? See, by the very use of those terms, suddenly we think, well, we are kind of a separate group of people. Do we use the word our group in the same way we use the term our Father who art in heaven? Is that what we mean by our, or we? Do we mean to include, when we say our Father who art in heaven, all of the people in the religious world who claim to be Christians? Is that what we mean by our? Is that what you mean when you pray, our Father King? Do you mean everybody in the world who claims to be a Christian? How do you use that term our? What do you mean when you say, are we a denomination? Well, I, of course, do not use the terms we and our in the denominational sense. In my mind, I don't intend to claim that all of the people who claim to be Christians are Christians. In fact, someone will say, well, Keith, if that's the case, aren't you really claiming that just a certain number, a small number probably, some sectarian number is the Church of Christ? Is that what you mean? Well, let's be careful about this. It's difficult to make people understand us when we say, is the Church of Christ a denomination? Especially when you're talking to a man and suddenly he finds out his views are in disharmony with the views of the Scripture and with the views of those around him. He is thinking to himself, well, I have a hard road to travel. In the midst of this denominational idea of our day, in the midst of all of this denominational activity, in the midst of all this denominational first question is, so you're a preacher, what denomination, may I ask? Now I can answer him this way. I can say, I belong to the Church of Christ. You know that ends the subject? That ends the conversation? But I've left him with the impression that I believe that the Church of Christ is a denomination. And he understands perfectly what I am, and I have permitted him to go away with that impression. Haven't I? But if I say to him, well, I'm not a member of any denomination, he thinks I'm a crank, or I'm a fanatic, or I'm some kind of a nut, or I'm trying to evade the question, or I'm not civil enough to answer it. But usually he just comes back with, well, what is your belief? And so then I have to answer. My reply is, well, I believe the Bible. I try to follow its teaching. I'm a member of the Church of Christ. You can read about the Bible. I'm a Christian. Then he's going to think one of two things about it. Well, this guy's really a fanatic, or he's a Campbellite. You know, the denominations say you can resist the devil and he'll flee from you, but if you resist a Campbellite, he'll flee on you. You know, I can try to be as gentle as I can with someone like this. I'm trying to answer his question. But when I say, sir, I'm not a member of any denomination, he can't understand it. He can't understand it. It's hard for people to understand why we're not a denomination. And it's hard for us to deal with it, and I repeat that. To keep from becoming denominational in our own speeches, in our own views. Now, let's ask the question. Are we a denomination? Are we? Let's look at some scriptures for a minute. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 14:34. New Testament churches were not denominations. That's more than obvious to all Bible scholars, even denominational Bible scholars. In fact, denominational Bible scholars are a little bit ahead of us today. We'll probably catch up with them in 50 years because they're beginning to plead with people to go back to the New Testament, and our brethren are trying to go the other direction. It seems like that's always the case, though. But in 1 Corinthians 14:34, Paul uses this word church this way. He says, let your women keep silence in the churches. Here the word ecclesia is used, and that's the word translated churches there, to mean the assembly. Well, you can think about the church as an assembly of God's people. That's legitimate. Or you can think of it as all of God's people. Let's go to Matthew 16:8. Where Peter is told, upon this rock I will build my ecclesia. All of my people will be called a church. We have a problem with that word church, brothers and sisters. It doesn't come from the Bible. It comes from the Scottish language. The Scottish word K-I-R-K is the source out of which we get the word church. The word here in the Bible is called out. Out of kaleo. To call out. To call out of. Every Christian is called out of the world into God's marvelous life, 1 Corinthians 2:9. And so the word church gives us a problem. It gives all of us a problem. People go to church. They have a church. They build a church. And so all of those terms get us all confused. Well, the word translated church can mean the universal sense of everybody that belongs to God. I will build my church. What congregation was Jesus talking about there? He wasn't talking about a congregation. He was talking about the universal group that he loves. Ephesians 5:25. That term is used that way about 18 times in the New Testament. In the universal sense. But 93 times it's used another way. Look at 1 Corinthians 1:2. He says here under the church of God, he calls it the church of God because God planned it, God died for it. The second person of the Godhead died for it, the first person of the Godhead was the planner, Ephesians 3:11. But notice, under the church of God, where, Paul, which is at Corinth. There's a local congregation called the Church of God at Corinth. When you say to people, I'm a member of the church, you mean biblically, you're a member of the universal church. You ask them, well, where do you worship? Well, I worship with the church that meets at. And that's the way it's used in the New Testament. When I mean I'm a member of the body of Christ, I mean universally, and I meet at a certain place and worship with a group of Christians on Sunday. Now, can you think of one denomination that uses the term church in that manner? I can't. Why did you get so quiet? something go off and my ears quit. Scared me there for a minute. I thought I died. When a person says the Episcopal Church, what does he mean? And I'm not picking on the Episcopal Church, but what does he mean by that? He means that group that has separated itself from all other Christians. That's what he means. He doesn't mean it in the universal sense. He doesn't mean it in the local sense. His group isn't big enough to be the universal sense, and it's too big to be the local sense. It's not scriptural then. Because the only scriptural situation we have is universal and local. And so a denomination is too small to be universal and too big to be local. But they think, of course, that all of them are saved. And so what do we mean when we say we are not a denomination? If we are denominational in any sense, that is the churches of Christ, and we are, it's because we're forced to do so. We're forced to do it. If I say that the church of Christ is not a denomination, all of my denominational friends who hear me make that statement will sink in their minds that I claim that a certain body of people calling themselves the Church of Christ is a denominational Church of Christ. And if I say that that denominational Church of Christ is not a denomination, the minute they hear that, because of what's going on in the sectarian world, they get confused. And it's a contradiction to them and an enigma, a puzzle. If I could just make them understand what the terms church mean, or what it means to be Christ's followers, all of God's children, what it means when the Bible says the Church of Christ, which is at Corinth, that includes all the people who are doing what Jesus tells them to do. Then I made some headway. But brothers and sisters, if I go around talking about Church of Christ preachers, or Church of Christ colleges, or Church of Christ youth camps, or Church of Christ this, or Church of Christ that, then my denominational friends will never understand what we mean by the church, because we don't use the term correctly. Let me say this as loudly and as clearly as I can tonight. The term Church of Christ is not the name of anything. It's what we are. And it is perfectly scripturally right to say, I am the Church of Christ. Let's read it. 1 Corinthians 12, 20 and 27. Now ye are the body of Christ, and members in particular. You as well try to separate the sunlight from the sunshine as to try to separate the religion of Christ from the Church of Christ, or vice versa. Well, our friends will say, well, I know the Church of Christ now, in that way. The great Church of Christ, the universal church, well, that's the sense in which I speak of. On a television program in Memphis years ago called What Is Your Faith? There were a group of denominational preachers preaching, or talking, and they would answer questions sent in from the television audience. A member of the church, John Simpson, was on that program. And on one occasion they began talking about the church, and they referred to the Church of Christ. Over and over again, every one of those denominational preachers would refer to the Church of Christ. And so finally, toward the middle of the program, Brother Simpson said, well, if you all feel that you are part of the universal Church of Christ, why don't you put a sign in front of your building in terms of unity for all believers, the Church of Christ meets you? They all said they would not do that. Brother Simpson then suggested, well, why don't you put up a sign that says the Church of Christ does not meet you? They wouldn't do that either. And that's denominationalism. It believes it's a part of it, but they want their own part of it. They are sectarian. And someone says, well, if you speak of the church in the terms of its universal sense, you will include all Christians in the term we are not a denomination. Some Christians are denominations. You do not admit that there are Christians among the denominations? No. I do not include the denominations in that term. We are not a denomination. We are speaking of Christians who are not in a denomination. Christians who do not compose a denomination. And we are I should have brought it with me. Could you all imagine 4 stacks of cards up here on this table? Let's make them 8.5 by 11 so they're big enough for everybody to see. If I can see them now. We'll make them 16 by 20. Can you see them, Mike? Fix your glasses up. Well, I can't see you. That's right. All right, 4 stacks of cards. We've got it right up here on this table. Now, let's put the number 2 on all these cards. And the number 4 on all these cards, the number 6 on all these cards. These cards have no number on them. Everybody got that picture? You've got 4 stacks of cards. 2, 4, 6. Then you've got a stack of cards, no number on them. All right? Now, I'm set to the task of separating these cards and classifying them. So I place all the 2s in that one stack, and all the 4s in that stack, and all the 6s of that stack, and all of these over here without a number on them in that stack. Everybody got it? And so on until I have all these cards stacked up. Now, that stack of cards without any numbers on it are cards just like all those other cards are. Right? They're all cards. You follow me? Or did you go to sleep? Don't go to sleep. You got to leave in the tickets. There. Now, these 3 stacks of cards, say that this stack of cards without any number on it. Now, just a minute here, all you fanatical folks over there. You're a card just like we are. And you've gone over there and you've been classified different from us. Why don't you come over here in these stacks with us? We're classified. We're not a stack of cards, you say. We're just cards. But they say, well, you're over there all by yourselves. You must be a denomination. No. You see, we're forced into that stack without a number on it because we're different from all the 2s and the 4s and the 6s. It's the purpose of the 2s and the 4s and the 6s to distinguish themselves from all the other cards who have no number on them, who aren't denominated. Stack differentiates them, so they go into different stacks. Well, you can see the application. It's in this sense that we are denominated. We're forced to be denominated by the fact that we're not denominated. We don't have any party names. We don't have any marks or brands to differentiate us from all the other people. In fact, if you look at Acts 11:26, you'll find out exactly what we are. The disciples were called Christians first. And I want to fellowship all of God's people. But they have to be God's people first. And I cannot have a fellowship with my denominational friends without going into their peculiar and several denominations. And I'm undenominational. I don't have any denominational organization. I don't have any denominational designations. I don't have any pope to boss me, no ecclesiastical court to tell me what to do. I don't make any laws or bind my conscience or my human creed on people. I don't tamper with the Bible. I don't trample underfoot God's Word. If the Church of Christ is a denominational, it's because our purpose and our work as a body of Christians, undenominational Christians, simply Christians only, makes it different, makes it necessary for us in today's world to be separate. Because if we're not separate, we're never going to get the rest of those folks to listen to the New Testament. I was once in a conversation with 2 preachers, and one of them said, it's unfortunate that we have so many antagonistic denominations. I said, I agree with him. It was indeed unfortunate. And he said, do you suppose we will ever agree, your denomination and my denomination, and all the others? And then he made a peculiar statement. He said, I would be willing to be a member of a disappearing denomination in order that we might unite. And I looked at him and then I said, would you be willing to do that? Really? I said, well, I'm not a member of the denomination. I wear no name but the divine one. I'm Christian. Now, would you ask me to give that? He said, your name's all right, but I can't see for the life of me why your church is not a denomination. I said, I'll show you. I'll make you see. I said, I want to tell you how I became a Christian. I heard the gospel of Christ. You see, without hearing it, I can't become a Christian. Faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of Christ. I believe the message I heard. said on one occasion, wherefore I said unto you, you shall die in your sins, for except you believe that I am he, you shall die in your sins, Johnny. I believed the message I heard. I responded to the message. And then I repented of my sins. I was so sorry for all of the sins I had committed, I made a decision that day to stop sinning. And somebody said the first command you must obey then is to confess with your mouth the name of Jesus Christ before witnesses. And so I did that. And then I was immersed in water in order for God to take away my sins. I was baptized in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. I rose from that baptismal water to walk in newness of life. And ever since then, I've been calling myself a Christian. I didn't do any of those things because they were taught to me by some church or required by some party of people. I did those things because they are the plain commandments of my Master. I said to him, is faith a sectarian doctrine? Is faith a denominational doctrine? Is repentance a denominational doctrine? Is confession of the name of Christ a denominational doctrine? Is baptism in Christ's name a sectarian doctrine? If so, why? It's commanded by the Lord, the same Lord authorized by the same God who requires us to have all that faith. When I told him that I had obeyed Christ in these things, I asked this preacher, now do you think I'm a Christian? He said, oh yes, I accept you as a Christian. I think you're a slave. I said, you accept me as a Christian? If you would not accept me in your denomination until I did some other things, and obeyed the commands and rules of your group, he said, well, of course, you'd have to submit to the rules of our church. Now, that's a thing I will never do, and I have never done it. I have never agreed to submit to the rules of any denomination. I have never subscribed to any creed of men. I gave my life and my heart to the Lord. Now, can you see tonight why I'm not a member of the denomination? In your Bible, if you look at these passages with me, let's go to Ephesians 1, 22 and 23. Ephesians 1, 22 and 23. The Bible says, he gave him to be head over all things to the church, that's that word ecclesia, which is his body, the fullness of him that filleth it all in all. All of the space between me and God is taken up by the church. I don't need anything else. It fills all in all. Why did he give him to be head over the church? This Christ was given this headship by the Father. Why is that? According to Colossians 1:18, that in all things Christ might have the preeminence. Any religion that emphasizes anything over the Christ is a false religion to start with. Christians are denominations that emphasize the Holy Spirit over the Christ start out on a false premise. The Holy Spirit is not allowed to speak of himself, but he is to exalt and glorify the Christ. John 16, 13 and 14. The Christ must be exalted. He's the only Lord and the only one forever. Ephesians 4, 4 through 6. There's just one body. Young man, how many is that? How many is that? Aren't you named Josh? How many is that? How many? How old are you? Do you know you're the greatest theologian that's ever lived? You're smarter than any denominational preacher I've ever talked to. How many is that? How many bodies does Jesus have? How many heads does the church have? You are a tremendous theologian. Did you know that? When you go home tonight, you're going to be so smart, your head's going to be that wide. You won't be able to get through the door. You're smarter than anybody I've ever met. There's just one body, one church, one Lord. I don't know. I can't imagine two bodies and one head. Or two heads and one body. What is the church? It's a kingdom. In terms of its government, let's look at Matthew 16, 17. I'll build my church and give unto thee the keys of the kingdom. What an amazing statement. Peter, I'm going to build my church, give you the keys to the kingdom. Well, wait a minute, Lord, you just made a mistake. You see, the kingdom's different. And you're going to have to come back in 1,000 years and set it up for 1,000 years, and you know all that goes. And so you made a mistake here. You gave me the wrong keys. Give me the keys to the church. The other day I was in the kitchen, and my wife said, here's the keys to the car. She taught me a set of keys, and I looked at them and said, no, those are the keys to the truck. Give me the keys to the car. And so she gave me the keys to the car, and I drove up here with it. I don't like to drive my pickup this far. what do you mean? I said, the verse says he translated us into the kingdom of his dear son. Now, who went with him? Of course, he's talking about the church there. Look at Luke 11:17. Every kingdom, every church divided against itself is brought to desolation. Is there anybody here tonight who will go out that door and say Christ has two kingdoms? Christ has two churches? I can't imagine anybody doing that. Let's look at 1 Timothy 3:15 and I'll quit. Paul wrote to Timothy that he would know how to behave himself in the house of God, which is the church of the living God. And I'd rather you to understand that so perfectly. They knew this was just a meeting house. But this building's not the house of God. The church is the house of God. Noah took his house in the ark, you remember. Cornelius feared God with all his house. We're told that Christ is the Lord over his own house, Hebrews 3:16. When Paul talked about the house of God, he was talking about the family feature of the church. I have a question for you tonight. Do you really believe that God is a bigamist? Do you? He has more than one family, right? More than one bride? More than one wife? Children scattered all over in various families? Of all of the things that Satan has done to Christianity, the worst is denominationalism. Because it calls my God a bigamist. My Lord only has one bride. How many brides? One. Christ is not a polygamist, and he doesn't intend for me preaching that way tonight. Are we a denomination? Absolutely not. Are we separate? Yeah, of course we are. Because we're trying to do what they did in the New Testament and follow the precepts of Christ. Can we do that? Absolutely. Are we misunderstood when they try to do it? We're bound to be. Christ was misunderstood when he brought his message to the religious people of his day. And brothers and sisters and friends, anytime you're talking to religious people, somebody's going to misunderstand you. If you can get a chance to show him or her from the New Testament what we mean by the church, then you can begin the long road to victory maybe teaching them the gospel. We face a difficult world today. Some of our own brethren have given up the fight. But I have good news for you. In many places, that's being turned around too. And we're beginning to see the beauty of standing up and saying, let's just be Christians. Let's just be Christians. Somebody tell me what's wrong with that, please. What's wrong with my wife wearing my name? What's wrong with wearing his name? What is it? You can just be a Christian. And when you're a Christian, you're a member of the body of Christ. Nobody here can vote on you. Nobody can tell you what things you must do to join this church. You can't join the Church of Christ. I told that to a lady one time, and she said, why? What's wrong